of the Philippines foreign student athlete.
We all know what Mike Harry can do. He's also a very familiar name for all our Asiabasket fans. He's played for multiple teams in our different tournaments here just in 2023. So Mike Harry will be one to watch here for the Dasmariñas Monarchs.
Another name that stands out, Hamadou Laminu, who is one of Mike Harry's contemporaries in the NCAA.
Hamadou Laminu is a known workhorse when he was with the EAC Generals back in his heyday. Now he's going to be tasked to hold the fort down with Mike Harry.
Over on the local side for the Dasmariñas Monarchs, John Cantimbuhan, a former MVP of the NBL or the National Basketball League. He's a known scorer in leagues like this, and he's likely going to make an impact as well for the Dasmariñas Monarchs.
They're going to need contributions from their lineup up and down for Dasmariñas to go far in this tournament. Guys like him will have to step up and contribute immediately from day one.
Talking about the head coaches now for the Dasmariñas Monarchs, they're going to be led by Coach Azli Guro, who is the longtime head coach of the EAC ICA Brigadiers, which play in the NCAA Juniors Division. He's got a tough task ahead of him because his opponent is none other than the former coach of our national team, Raiko Toroman, the OG Smart Gilas from 2009.
And this is why the Benilde Blazers should be the dark horses of this tournament, because of that man on the bench, Coach Raiko Toroman. Probably the greatest advantage that this team has is the man on the bench.
And there's a look at Coach Azli Guro, who is part of the local city government here in Dasmariñas, and like I said, a longtime fixture in the NCAA Juniors Division. Quite a tough task ahead of him, and quite a tough task ahead of everybody, given all of the festivities going on around inside the Dasmariñas Arena.
And there's going to be some interesting matchups as well. We see that the Benilde Blazers has employed a world import in Eman Ojula, formerly of the FEU Tamaros.
We'll get into that more in a bit, but first, let's go take a break. When we come back, tip-off between the Benilde Blazers and the Dasmariñas Monarchs. This is our coverage of the 2023 CORSA Tires Asiabasket Championship Dasmariñas. You're looking at the Benilde Blazers. A lot of them are actually familiar faces to us, Coach Mark. You've got the likes of Ian Torres, Roger Ondoa, Justin Sanchez, and Tony Inot, all of whom most recently played in the Las Piñas leg of Asiabasket this year.
And the funny thing, all these guys who played were all key players for their teams. Ian Torres, Roger Ondoa were the star players for the Sansar Fire Tigers. And on the other end, Tony Inot and Justin Sanchez were the main guys for CORSA Tires in Las Piñas.
Now let's get into our tournament format. You've got 10 teams participating in this championship. And all these teams will be allocated into 2 groups. You've got 5 teams in Group A and then the other 5 in Group B. Teams will be playing against everyone else in their group in a single round-robin format for the classification of their ranking. Now, the top 4 teams in each group will qualify for the crossover knockout quarterfinal rounds. That means, for example, you've got the 1 seed in Group A taking on the 4 seed of Group B, and we'll figure out the rest from there. All of that leads to the semifinal round on November 10, and the championship game and the battle for third on November 11. That's on Thursday and Friday next week. And of course, we've got the concert as part of the festivities as well on November 12. Headliners include Al James, Mayonnaise, and Nobita, all top-tier acts here in the local music scene. Now let's go back to the Benilde Blazers, Coach Mark. You were getting into some of them who've actually experienced the rigors of the Asiabasket Championship.
Oh, they understand the style of play that we have here at the Asiabasket. And again, these guys were not just any members of any just team. These guys were key components of teams that were in the playoffs. And you're talking about a guy like Justin Sanchez, who made the first team for a tournament in Las Piñas, one of the leading scorers for that tournament, averaged at least 20 points the whole time.
Justin Sanchez actually averaged 19 points per game in Las Piñas, and Tony Inot joined him in the All-Asiabasket first team from that last tournament in Las Piñas. So this Benilde Blazer squad has seriously retooled. On the other side, let's discuss the Dasmariñas Monarchs. Is there anyone that stands out to you from the local players?
Oh, locally, you're looking at guys like their former PBA guys like Lauren Bill and Frankie Johnson, and of course, the returning honorable Mr. Martin Reyes.
Martin Reyes, the former UP Fighting Maroon who's since taken public office here in the city of Dasmariñas. He's unable to join the Dasmariñas Monarchs in tonight's game. But if you're here in the Dasmariñas court, you might have already seen Frankie Johnson. This man was just in the PBA a couple of months ago. He was most recently with the Meralco Bolts, and now he's suiting up here in Asiabasket.
It's going to be counted upon by the Dasmariñas Monarchs to lead their team in scoring.
Sorry to cut you off right there, Coach Mark. Let's turn it over to our game announcer for the introduction of the players.
Number 7, Ian Torres. Number 17, Jomel Ancheta. Number 20, Justine Sanchez. Number 24, Angelo Vanguardia. Number 30, Kobe Ordonio. Number 33, Edson Serrano. Number 34, Allen Liwag. Number 39, Tony Inot. Number 42, Iril Gales. Number 72, Gabriel Cometa. And number 77, Antonio Eusebio. The head coach of Benilde Blazers is Coach Raiko Toroman. And now, let's meet the lineup of your Dasmariñas City Monarchs. Player number 0, Lauren Brill. Number 1, Jamir Ramos. Number 2, J.R. Lustrissimo. Number 6, R.J. Escobar. Number 7, Banjo Ampunin. Number 8, A.J. Vitug. Number 11, Ernest Reyes. Number 15, Johnson Frankie. Number 16, Mike Harry. Number 22, John Cantimuan. Number 26, Hamadou Lamino. Number 30, Lele Guzani. Number 77, Jolo Sumagaysay. Number 81, Jeff Akain. Number 88, Rudy Onde. And number 12, G-Boy Gob. The head coach of Dasmariñas Monarchs is Coach Ashley Guru. Our officials of the ball game, Crew Chief Harry Santos, Umpire 1 Dominic Romar, Umpire 2 Chester Gray, Technical Delegate Salvador Cosses Sr.
Head coach of Dasmariñas Monarchs we have here beside me is a coach Ashley Guro. So coach, again, congratulations. Ang dami na nga nangyari in this opening day. Pero ngayon kayo nga ang last game for this one. Anong ina-expect nga natin sa team today?
Basically, yung ina-expect namin na bigyan namin ng magandang laban yung Benilde. Nag-prepare kami for yesterday sa kanila. Alam namin mga bata. So una-una yung transition defense, yung press break, kasi alam namin full court trap talaga si Coach Raiko, taka masisipag dahil mga bata nga.
Okay, so na-mention na nga rin natin, diba, kung gaano rin naman talaga kagaling ang Benilde Blazers. So, pero ano bang mga magiging game plan natin today? Share mo naman sa amin.
Una nga yung we will slow down the game, tapos we will go inside kasi medyo lamang kami sa height at saka medyo mamamain ng konti kasi matatanda kami ng konti sa kanila. Pero yun nga, kailangan namin dumipensa kasi mga bata sila.
So good luck to you and the rest of the team, Coach. Stand and Coach Mark.
Sab, the Dasmariñas Monarchs under quite a bit of pressure playing in front of their hometown fans. You've got city officials all in attendance, head coach Ashley Guro being one of them. And it's going to be an interesting way to kick things off here in their run in this Asiabasket tournament.
And they've really filled up the Dasma Arena. We're almost full up to the brim, and we have a live band to boot.
Quite a bit to contend with, especially if you're susceptible to sensory overload. But going back to the Dasmariñas Monarchs, we already see John Cantimbuhan on the floor, Frankie Johnson swarming up. You've got Mike Harry. This is actually a pretty stacked lineup that head coach Ashley Guro has on his hands, which is quite a league away from what he used to when he was competing in similar local leagues in the area.
Well, it is a stacked lineup on paper. Probably, if you're looking at it, one of the favorites for our tournament. But it's one thing to have a lineup like this, and it's another thing to make it work, because you have a mixture of guys who've been in the PBA and a few guys who want to be in the PBA. So it's going to be difficult. And the challenge now for Coach Ashley and his staff is to how to put all these ingredients together to make one great team.
Meanwhile, for head coach Raiko Toroman, he's got a lot to figure out as well, because these are players on his squad that are looking to make an impact to impress head coach Charles Tew, impress the Benilde Blazers management to earn a spot on the main team in NCAA Season 100. You've got a couple of transferees on this roster, Antonio Eusebio being one of them. He transferred from UP Diliman. You've also got Gab Cometa, who we last saw as a member of the San Beda Red Lions back in Kuala Lumpur. Now he's wearing white and green.
It's a problem. It's a happy problem to have. You know, you have a loaded squad of amateur guys who are standout guys from their previous teams, and what better man to lead them, none other than Coach Raiko Toroman. We all know what this man can do, and with a loaded lineup like this, a bunch of young, promising talent, and backstop by the world import in Eman Ujula, who's also a force down low.
And if this is your first time to see Coach Raiko Toroman in action, this is a coach who has helmed the national teams of Iran, Jordan, and Indonesia. He's got a long history with the Philippines, as we've mentioned, with him being the coach of the OG Smart Gilas from 2009. He actually reunited with Coach Charles Tew, who's now the head coach of CSB, when they were with Mighty Sports in 2019, right before the COVID-19 pandemic. So these ties go quite a way.
And that combo has won championships already. And the aforementioned Mighty Sports team won the tournament in Dubai, led by Justin Brownlee and the rest of the guys. But this combination of mentor and student has had results, and it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Toroman will display his prowess here at Asiabasket.
We're about a couple of minutes away from tip-off, just waiting for the starting lineups for both squads. The Benilde Blazers, Coach Mark, you called them a dark horse pick to start things off. Let's hope that you haven't jinxed them right away with those words.
You know, you're looking down at this lineup, and a few other names that really stand out. As we said earlier, Ian Torres and Roger Ondoa really introduced themselves to the local basketball scene by their play in the last Asiabasket. Roger Ondoa, a freak athlete, and Ian Torres, a do-everything point guard, much like a Jason Kidd.
And the thing about Ian Torres and Roger Ondoa is these guys have actually been playing for quite a while. These are not players who've just been plucked out from obscurity or from out of nowhere. They were actually earning their dues in Immaculada Conception College or in the ICC, where they were discovered in the original PhilBasket tournament from last year, the PhilBasket Summer Championship. And then from there, they were able to make an impression enough for the Benilde Blazers to recruit them to their squad in time for season 100.
And not only that, that program also produced one more name, Jake Gaspay, who is in their neighbor school, De La Salle University.
Definitely. So, Coach Jake Agsalud, the former head coach of the ICC Blue Hawks, is probably smiling somewhere watching his former players making a name for themselves on bigger platforms now. Now let's send it over to our game announcer. Let's send it over to our game announcer for the starting lineups.
And at power forward, Antonio Eusebio, the head coach again of Benilde Blazers, is Coach Raiko Toroman. The starting unit of your Dasmariñas City Monarchs. As at small forward, RJ Escobar. At shooting guard, Frankie Johnson. At point guard, John Cantimbuan. At center, Hamadou Lamino. And at power forward, Mike Curry. The head coach of Dasma Monarch is Coach Ashley Guru. And before we start the ball game, may I request board member Kiko Barzaga for the ceremonial toss. Thank you very much, board member Kiko Barzaga. Start of the first period.
And we're underway. Eman Ojula starting at center here for the Benilde Blazers. If you're familiar with UAAP basketball, you might recognize him from his days with FEU as that easy basket goes in for Ancheta.
Oh, excellent play design right off the tip from the Benilde Blazers, getting that easy layup from a back pick.
The dynamic duo of Tony Inot and Justin Sanchez not together on the court. Only Inot is here. Justin Sanchez coming off the bench later on in the game. Benilde with a good steal right there. Ancheta dumping it inside to Ojula, who draws a whistle before he can throw up the field goal.
We see Dasma starting with both their world imports, Lamino and Mike Harry, trying to establish the paint early. But a good move by Ojula, drawing the first foul for Mike Harry.
Twin tower strategy here for head coach Asli Guro of the Dasmariñas Monarchs. Tony Inot looking to build on his successful campaign in Las Piñas. Misses that three. Mike Harry with the board. Steal there from Eusebio. The transfer from UP Diliman. Ancheta all the way, denied by Mike Harry.
Probably not the smartest decision for Jomel Ancheta, trying to challenge Mike Harry like that.
And Mike Harry, very stoic disposition. Let's take a look at that once again. That defensive play of the game brought to you by Decathlon. Mike Harry saying, get that weak stuff out of here. Play resuming. CSB with another try here. Getting that pick from Ojula. Ancheta almost lost it. Inot from the corner, in and out.
And so far, a lot of open looks for Benilde. They're just not draining it.
Harry feeds Lamino inside. He gets hacked by Ojula. Ball's gonna stay with Dasmariñas.
And it's clear what the game plan early is for Coach Asli and the rest of the Dasma Monarchs. Is get the ball in the paint to either Lamino or Mike Harry.
And they're using Mike Harry here as a distributor from the top of the key to hopefully find a passing angle that could work for Lamino. Here's a three-pointer. No good for Frankie Johnson. Another fast break for CSB. That ball goes out of bounds. Matthew Ollie couldn't catch it.
And probably an underrated, under-the-radar transfer here is Jomel Ancheta from the CEU Scorpions, adding depth to that point guard position for NCAA Season 100.
Things are getting physical and probably not in the best way right now between Ancheta and John Cantimbuhan.
And that's Jomel Ancheta, the pesky defensive-minded guard. In his time with the CEU Scorpions, he was tasked to defend the best players of the other teams. And doesn't change here, trying to defend Puroy Cantimbuhan. It's actually one of the quickest guards from the MPBL.
Double foul right there called on Ancheta and Cantimbuhan as CSB is now employing a full court press less than 2 minutes into the game. Almost a steal there from Ancheta. Dasmariñas able to recover here. Frankie Johnson with some space. Rebound Ancheta. Eman Ojula running the break. Nice pass to Tony Inot inside.
Excellently run fast break by the Benilde Blazers, finding the open Tony Inot at the end.
Eman Ojula sending that ball in our direction. What a block.
And this is such a great get for the Benilde Blazers. We understand that they're a college team of red shirts, but they got Eman Ojula to shore up their front line, adding a lot more depth and experience.
Eman Ojula, who actually holds a master's degree. Frankie Johnson, hoping to break an ankle, took that three. That's not gonna count.
Looks like there's an offensive foul called by a referees on Hamadu Lamino. So that's a foul each on Mike Harry and Hamadu Lamino.
And even more importantly, nasayang yung three-point attempt ni Frankie Johnson.
And this crowd is just waiting for a basket, waiting to erupt.
Waiting to pop, if you will, in pro wrestling parlance. Eusebio from outside. Rebound Lamino. Here's Cantimbuhan, the former NBL MVP. He can put points up in a hurry. Frankie Johnson from outside. No good.
Ancheta, once again, doing a great job quarterbacking for the Blazers, taking it all the way for an easy layup.
6-0, that's the score. The Benilde Blazers have jumped and surprised the Dasmariñas Monarchs. 7-11, that's how much time we've got remaining in the first quarter. We'll be back with more Asiabasket action. The CSP Blazers have surprised the Dasmariñas Monarchs. Jomel Ancheta leading the way for them, all of 5'8" from San Mateo, Rizal. He'll have 4 years of eligibility following season 100.
Look at the ball pressure. Ancheta is giving Puroy Cantimbuhan.
Mike Harry getting low to the ground, and he draws some contact there.
Mike Harry trying to do it by himself. You know, when this guy gets ahead of steam, everybody has to watch out.
And Mike Harry, not a small individual. He's 6'6". Bit of miscommunication there for Dasmariñas. Laminu using his body there. He got the horns from Mike Harry and Laminu. Frankie Johnson still trapped though. Pulling up. Finally drills it.
Frankie Johnson, certified scorer, trying to get off here early. Only made his first shot out of maybe 4.
And this is a guy who we just mentioned is fresh out of the PBA. Was not re-signed by the Meralco Bolts. As Dasmariñas gets that rebound, here's Cantimbuhan. No-look pass goes into the hands of Ojula. Thrown into Eusebio. Ancheta's got the bigger defender on him, trying to capitalize on the mismatch. The floater, no good for Ancheta. Mike Harry swooping in with the rebound. Stolen. Here's Tony Inot. We've seen what he can do in Asiabasket, and that's a reminder.
And that's one thing that's really impressed me about Tony Inot. He's rounded out into an excellent attacker, in control, not just relying on his athleticism.
Benilde Blazers really trying to disrupt the momentum of Dasmariñas' offense before they can even get going. 9 on the shot clock here for Dasmariñas. John Cantimbuhan. That's his bread and butter, putting the ball in the hole.
Puroy Cantimbuhan, one of the quickest guys with the basketball that I know, using that speed to blow by Jomel Ancheta.
Benilde Blazers looking to answer back here on offense. Nice pass from Eusebio inside. Ancheta got denied, and Cantimbuhan is beside himself.
Cantimbuhan clearly saying that he got all ball to Ancheta, and they've been beefing since minute 1.
Jomel Ancheta still on the ground. Let's take a look at that last collision. Ancheta, that looked like it was all ball.
It looked like it was all ball, but probably caught some body. You'll never know. Referees called it.
John Cantimbuhan heads to the bench. AJ Vitug taking his place. Lauren Brill, who most recently was with Magnolia in the PBA, also checking in for the Dasmariñas Monarchs.
And that's that depth that the Monarchs have, or the luxury of depth that the Monarchs have, having Lauren Brill coming off the bench to support guys like Frankie Johnson.
Jomel Ancheta, who you may have last seen in the Naascu as a member of the CEU Scorpions, goes 0 for 2 at the charity stripe.
And Benilde hasn't really used a sub yet here in their first quarter, almost halfway done.
Lauren Brill now decided to think twice when he saw Ojula right in his path. Johnson getting that pick from Mike Harry from way behind the arc. No good. Inot with a rebound. Tony Inot slashing his way inside, draws contact.
Frankie Johnson's really settled for jump shots so far. Hasn't made the conscious effort to put the ball on the floor and get to the hoop.
And the Dasmariñas Monarchs are in the penalty. That spells free throws for Tony Inot. Meanwhile, let's take a look at that last Cantimbuhan bucket. And that was the drive of the game, brought to you by Jabber Motocom. Make rides more fun. Free throws good for Winston Inot. That's his given name. And now we've got Justin Sanchez checking in for the first time in for Antonio Sebio. Justin Sanchez played alongside Tony Inot and Gerald Anderson with CORSA tires in Dasmariñas last July. He averaged 19.1 points per game, almost 7 rebounds per game, 4 assists, 2.1 steals, and 1 block per game. That was a stat-stuffing performance for him in July.
And it's going to be interesting how he fits into the system being run by Coach Raiko here for the Benilde Blazers.
Meanwhile, Coach Asli Guro, who you saw moments ago, has more questions than answers at this point. Vito getting his screens there from his bigs. Lamino looking to set up shop down low, deny there. Brill gets rejected by Ojula.
Just the presence of Ojula there, changing the shot of Lauren Brill.
Justin Sanchez thought about it. Sanchez, no good. Ojula offensive rebound at the putback.
And that's the problem. If you allow Justin Sanchez to get deep in the paint, nobody's going to rotate and block out Eman Ojula.
8-point game here in favor of the Benilde Blazers. Brill from 3. Ian Torres saving that one, getting a rebound for himself, stolen by Vitug. Fast break here for Dasmariñas. AJ Vitug taking it up, uses the backboard as an ally.
Excellent body control by AJ Vitug, stopping on the dime, making the defense go by past him. Easy layup.
6-point game here. Benilde Blazers looking to get back here, get back that bucket. Tony Inot almost stole it. That's going to be a foul. And now the Blazers are also in the penalty. That's going to send Hamadu Lamino to the line. In the meantime, let's take a look at AJ Vitug. That move of the game brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. AJ Vitug taking advantage of that opportunity as we send it over to the third member of our broadcast team, Sabrina San Diego.
Stan and Coach Mark, I have talked to assistant coach Paolo Layog of the Benilde Blazers, and he mentioned that if there's one great advantage is that the team has been playing and been training together. Alam na nga nila ang galawan ng isa't isa. At sabi pa rin naman niya sa akin na ang ganda rin naman daw ng pinapakita or ang character ng kanilang import na si Eman Ojula. Sabi pa niya sa akin na he adapted easily in the system and at the same time he is very much of a team player. Your thoughts on this?
Thank you very much, Sabia. It's very important anytime you're able to build some sort of chemistry, especially in a pocket tournament like this, right, Coach Mark?
It is a very short tournament, so a team like Benilde will have the advantage of that chemistry. And Eman Ojula is already a vet. He's been around, so it's not a problem to integrate him to what you already have.
Thank you very much for that report earlier, Sab. We're seeing a substitution right now. Colby Ordonio checking in here for the Benilde Blazers. And Colby Ordonio, the second-generation player, the son of former PBA player John Ordonio.
John Ordonio, most famously of the Pop Cola Panthers.
Played in the league for about 6 years before he left due to some questions about his citizenship at the time.
When he was here, he was pretty good. One of the leading scorers for that Pop Cola team.
Speaking of leading scorers, Tony Inot with a 3 right there. He's got 9, leading the way for the Blazers.
Imagine the depth here. Ia Torres, Tony Inot, and Justin Sanchez all playing together now.
It's an embarrassment of riches for the Benilde Blazers as Frankie Johnson drills that one, gets the N1 opportunity. He's got 4.
Frankie Johnson just doing what we asked him early. He was missing his outside shots. This time, taking it strong, getting the hit in the soft finish around the basket.
Edson Serrano checks in for Eman Ojula. So it's an all-local lineup here for the Benilde Blazers, who we might have to remind our viewers that the Benilde Blazers play in the NCAA, a league that no longer allows FSAs or foreign student athletes.
So we all have to understand that Eman Ojula is here as a guest player, their world import, just to shore up that front line.
2:35 remaining here in the first quarter. Torres at the controls, finds Ordonio. Kobe from the foul line, no good. Dasmariñas is running. AJ Vitug able to maintain control. Back to Frankie Johnson from outside. Can't get it to go.
Frankie Johnson can't get a bucket from the outside. He's barely more successful trying to get it inside.
That's a three-pointer, no good for CSP. Offensive rebound, Serrano. And you have to appreciate how Edson Serrano was still crashing the boards on the offensive end.
That's what Edson Serrano can do. Bring a lot of energy, get a lot of rebounds. He's a big boy, built tough to battle inside.
Under 2 minutes to go here, and Mike Harry heads to the bench. Ernest Reyes checks in, and this is another player with an interesting backstory. He was a member of the security personnel of the NLEX headquarters before he got called in to be part of their 3x3 team, the Cavitex Braves, in 2021. Imagine being a basketball fan all your life and you're working as a security personnel for a company that just happens to have a 3x3 team. They end up needing a player to add to their roster and you happen to be available.
And that's the dream right there. Ernest Reyes already living it.
And now Ernest Reyes continuing to play professionally in a league like this as Edson Serrano hits that bucket inside. Edson Serrano fell asleep on his defensive shift right there. .11 seconds remaining here on the shot clock. That ball goes out of bounds. Brilliant Vito couldn't connect.
Not a lot of player movement there for the Dasmariñas Monarchs. That ball was stagnant and nobody else was moving.
Tony Inot getting some rest now. Angelo Vanguardia checking in for Coach Raiko Toroman.
And if he's familiar to you guys, he already played also in Asiabasket in Kuala Lumpur.
Making his return right here in Dasmariñas. And they were looking for Kobe Ordonio, who's matching up against Frankie Johnson. Ordonio couldn't dish it to Serrano. Frankie Johnson on the break. To Brill. Brill inside, couldn't hit anything. Ernest Reyes cleans it up. Not just in security, but he's also a custodian.
Ernest Reyes working hard underneath, battling against the younger bigs, scoring 2 points.
Under a minute to play here in the first quarter. 12 on the shot clock here for the Benilde Blazers. Constant motion from Ian Torres to Edson Serrano down low.
That's the second time that Edson Serrano's role has been unguarded. Dasma has to do a better job containing that roller.
About 3 seconds separating shot clock and game clock here to end the first quarter. J-Boy Gob entering the floor here, a former UP Fighting Maroon. I believe he's someone that you crossed paths with during your time in the Maroons coaching staff.
J-Boy and I were together in 2019 and 2018. So he's been working hard on his fitness and his outside shot.
And that Ian Torres assist to Edson Serrano was the assist of the game, brought to you by Fiber Blaze. Nothing beats local. Frankie Johnson good on that first free throw. Two for two there at the line for Frankie Johnson out of Fairfield, California. Really made an impact in 2019 for the first time when he starred in the PBA D-League, averaging 26 points per game, and then moving on to the 3x3 circuit, and then of course the actual pro leagues in the PBA as Edson Serrano passes. Good ball movement from CSP, left corner three, no good. And we're ending the first quarter with a 5-point deficit for the Dasmariñas Monarchs in their home court against the Benilde Blazers. Let's take a look at some highlights from that first quarter, Coach Mark.
But it was a pace controlled by the Benilde Blazers. Their defense really locked in on the scorers of the Dasma Monarchs, namely Frankie Johnson and Lauren Brill, their ex-PBA pros. They really keyed on those two guys, and on the other end, offensively, the execution was outstanding. They got open a few times off that back pick, which they converted on. That's why they have this 5-point lead right now.
Meanwhile, for the Benilde Blazers, they have actually put on a very a very surprising performance, really showing no intimidation against this team of pros.
It's no surprise that they've started out this well. Coach Toroman has really prepared them well for this tournament.
And at the end of the first, the Benilde Blazers are up by 5, 19-14 in our main event here in the Dasmariñas Arena. Here's a look at the fans right here in the Dasmariñas Arena. What a way to spend your Friday night, especially during this long weekend filled with holidays. Mike Harry from the outside, rattles in and out. Ordonio grabs it for Benilde. Here's Kobe. Fakes the shot, passes to the left. Ian Torres now to Edson Serrano once again.
Serrano has been making a living off those easy baskets underneath. Nobody really rotating to him.
Edson Serrano playing this game on easy mode thanks to the help from his teammates, getting him open. We get that three from AJ Vito, closing the gap little by little.
Oh, AJ Vito with probably the most nonchalant three-point shot we've seen in this game. One foot fadeaway three-point shot for AJ Vito.
Ordonio with the cross-court pass there. Ian Torres from the outside uses the bank to help him out.
Back must be open late here in Cavite. Ian Torres with a big shot to quell this easy small rally.
Ball goes out of bounds. It will be CSB ball once again. Coach Raiko Toroman wants to talk things through here in Etivac. There's a look at the three-point shot of the game brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. AJ Vito with that nonchalant post three-pointer celebration, Coach Mark.
Everything about that three-point shot was chill. AJ Vito showing off here in Dasmariñas.
The fans here in the city of Dasmariñas, they've come out to have a good time. And that look at the fans, or the fans of the game rather, they're brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. And before we resume action, we'd like to remind everyone that the 2023 CORSA Tires Asiabasket Championship Dasmariñas is being shown on YouTube, Facebook, and live right here on TAP Sports. Justin Sanchez from the outside. Look at Torres, all of 5'8", 5'9", trying to get the offensive rebound.
Well, if I remember correctly, Ian Torres had the triple-double last time we saw him in Las Piñas. So it's no strange, it's not the sight to see him battling down low against the bigs.
10 on the shot clock here for Dasmariñas. AJ Vito kicking it out to Mike Harry. Tries his luck from three. Justin Sanchez with the outlet pass. They go back out to Serrano. Here's Kobe Ordonio. Ordonio, step back. Clearly bothered right there. And Vanguardia not able to corral it for CSB.
Ordonio had Justin Sanchez open on the left wing off that pick and roll. Opting for that tough fadeaway.
Kobe Ordonio grew up in Seaside, California, and he was recruited out of California State University Stanislaus before he made his way here to the Benilde Blazers. In CSU Stan, as they call it there in California, he was actually a kinesiology major.
Interesting to note, But how Kobe Ordonio will fit in this system being run by Coach Charles and Coach Raiko will be very interesting because we all know Inot and Sanchez are the scorers. So Ordonio will have to find his niche in this team.
Lauren Brill with a fadeaway J right there. That was pretty smooth.
Brill finally getting his first bucket of the night. He's been struggling since the first quarter.
That's going to be a travel against Justin Sanchez. He knows better than that.
Justin Sanchez still trying to find his footing here in this system. Last time we saw him in Las Piñas, he was freewheeling it with Tony Inot, scoring at will.
Meanwhile, let's take a look at that jumper from Lauren Brill. Silky smooth on the release. Justin Sanchez getting called for a foul once again. Serrano takes a seat. He's been pretty productive in his minutes. Emma Nojula coming back in.
That was a good stint on the floor for Edson Serrano. 6 points and playing good defense in the post against Mike Harry.
First shot's good for Lauren Brill, who grew up in Gaithersburg, Maryland. He actually went to college at Old Dominion University, which is a Division I school in the NCAA in the US.
Lauren Brill came back here to the Philippines and tried to find his footing in the PBA. He did last couple seasons there. Again, it's tough to stay in the PBA, especially in a loaded position like the guard spot.
Justin Sanchez with the drive here. Challenging Mike Harry, finally making a basket.
Justin Sanchez might finally get on track here. Quick move against Mike Harry.
Bit of frustration there from Vitu. Wasn't able to direct traffic the way he needed it. Another whistle right there. Ball's likely staying with the Dasmariñas Monarchs. In the meantime, let's take a look at this CORSA Tires move of the game, brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. Justin Sanchez just challenging Mike Harry.
That's the Justin Sanchez you remember from Las Piñas. Attacking early and often.
That slob play or sideline out of bounds play, no good for Dasmariñas. Tony Inot found no defense, couldn't find the stroke either. Eman Ojula with a cleanup.
No, Eman Ojula might not be the tallest FSA, the tallest world import here in our tournament, but he's definitely one of the toughest and heaviest there.
Eman Ojula at 6'7" from Nigeria, got his undergraduate degree at Naga College Foundation before he made his way to FEU, and he finished his master's degree in FEU even before his first official UAAP game.
He was quite the force as well in the UAAP, one of the shorter FSAs back then, but he proved his worth by working hard. He was an excellent finisher in the paint as well.
He's also a prolific rebounder. He led the UAAP in rebounds during the elimination phase. In his lone season in the UAAP, he averaged 11.5 rebounds per game in season 84, which is only a couple of years ago.
An early foul here called again on the Blazers, pushing their total to 3. A little over 6 minutes. Been getting pretty antsy on defense.
14 on the shot clock. Frankie Johnson trapped, had to pass out to Mike Harry. Lauren Brill avoiding that screen, slip right there. Scramble for the loose ball. And that's going to be a travel against Mike Harry.
And it's pace really favoring the Benilde Blazers. They're slowing it down, getting some stops, and executing in the half court. They're not allowing this Dasmariñas Monarchs team to really get on the break, because they understand probably Dasmariñas doesn't have the same practice time as they've had. So they're backing on that.
There's Coach Asli Guro, who we said at the top of the broadcast, really has a tough task ahead of him, trying to outcoach Raiko Toroman of all people. Gab Cometa back on the floor here for CSB. Here's Cometa getting that Ojula pick, taking that shot from the free throw line, and that's good.
Oh, Gab Cometa, actually, last time we saw him in Asiabasket, he was hitting threes left and right for the San Beda Red Lions in Malaysia. So it's good to see him back here on the court.
And Gab Cometa, who's wearing number 72 here for the CSB Blazers. When he left San Beda in late May, he actually said that the CSB was his dream school. So it must be a thrilling feeling for Gab Cometa to finally be wearing these colors.
Anytime you get to live your dream, much like Ernest Reyes, you must feel like you're floating in cloud nine. But the reality right now is he has to lead this somewhat rookie-laden Benilde squad, especially with guys like Kobe Ordonio and the rest of the gang. He has to be the leader, and Gab Cometa has been around, especially with San Beda. He has that Final Four experience to boot.
Another free throw being lined up here for Frankie Johnson, who, if you remember his adventures in the 3x3 circuit, actually won a championship with Chooks to go after he drilled the game-winning basket in the title game. Mga 1 million lang naman yung nakuha nila from that game-winning basket.
Man, what a feeling it must have been to make a shot for 1 million pesos.
Gab Cometa trying to protect the ball, draws some contact from AJ Vito.
So far, the struggles for the Dasma Monarchs has begun with their ex-PBA guys, Frankie Johnson and Lauren Brill. Haven't really gotten on track on offense.
Tony Inot being left alone again. It's as if Dasmariñas is daring him to shoot. Sanchez, nice pass inside. Ojula losing control of the ball there.
Inot could have shot that. He was wide open off the Spain action.
1.4 seconds remaining here in the shot clock. Tony Inot's their trigger man to Sanchez, wide open for three. And that tip-in's good for Matthew Ollie.
Matthew Ollie primarily inside to defend Frankie Johnson, but doing his best to contribute on offense as well.
Matthew Ollie, another recruit for the Benilde Blazers, recruited from San Joaquin Delta College in Stockton, California. Hamadou Laminu down low, gets it to go. And Hamadou Laminu faced some travel issues, which is why he could only participate in 2 games in Kuala Lumpur last April. We didn't really get to see a lot of this man, and now he's reintroducing himself to us in this tournament.
Good to see Hamadou Laminu get his points. It's going to be a force that's going to be needed by Coach Asley to establish his team early in the paint.
Foul, and that is his first personal, second team foul.
Second team foul there for the Dasmariñas Monarchs. It's going to be Benilde Blazers basketball. Jusani taking a seat right there. And Coach Asley going back to having both Mike Harry and Hamadou Laminu playing simultaneously. Tony Inot can't get the lucky bounce. Ojula, no finish, but he gets 2 free throws.
Oh, Eman Ojula just moving Mike Harry and Hamadou Laminu aside as if they were paperweights, getting that offensive rebound.
Let's take a look at that CORSA Tires move of the game from Hamadou Laminu, brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. First free throw's good for Eman Ojula of Nigeria. There's a look at Mr. Kiko Barzaga, a board member here in the city of Dasmariñas, who gave a very rousing welcome to the city of Dasmariñas, his constituents. A very fiery speech that showered us all with excitement to kick things off here in the Asiabasket tournament.
Again, the Blazers going back to that full court pressure, trying to take time off that shot clock and reduce this attack to 1-on-1 only.
Frankie Johnson, another missed 3. Tony Inot with a rebound. And before Inot could get going, we've got another break in the action.
The pace has really slowed down because of all the fouls both teams have committed. And this actually feel like favors the Benilde Blazers because they've been executing so well in the half court.
$15 on the shot clock here for the Benilde Blazers. Antonio Sebio inside. Must have been bothered by the defense from Mike Harry, but that's going to be a goaltend because of offensive interference from Mike Harry. Coach Asli Guro calling for time. They're down by 11 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Coach Asli Guro and the Dasmariñas Monarchs have a lot to talk about here. Blazers not keeping their foot off the gas pedal here. They're up by 11 against the Dasmariñas Monarchs, 36-25.
The Monarchs really have to do a better job, not only defending on the half court, but getting quality shots for their star players, namely Frankie Johnson and Lauren Brill, or establishing Mike Harry and Hamadou Lamino in the post. They have to choose one because they've gone to multiple possessions with multiple choices. And
They're struggling right now. They're struggling right now from the floor. The Dasmariñas Monarchs only shooting 36% from the floor overall, only 10% from downtown. They've only hit 1 3-pointer.
And as we say that, they commit a 5-second inbound violation, turning the ball back to the Benilde Blazers.
14 on the shot clock here for CSB. Gab Cometa using that big from Ojula, gets himself a 3, no good. Tony Inot with the offensive rebound. That's another 3-pointer for CSB. Cometa with another rebound. Third chance here in this possession for CSB. Making the extra pass, here's Inot. From closer to the paint, he just willed that shot in.
That's the athleticism of Tony Inot at play. What a finish.
How do you spell Inot, Coach Mark? Why not? That's how you spell it.
Tony, why not? Inot.
11 seconds remaining here in the shot clock for Dasmariñas. Ojula snags it here for CSB. Inot, nice pass inside. Eusebio not caught napping and finishing that play.
Again, that early slip by the roller, catching the Dasmariñas backside defense asleep.
Here's Frankie Johnson. He's got 9. Trying to get himself to double digits. Hamadou Lamino wide open there, and he took his sweet time.
Right now, the Monarchs will take anything they can get. Lamino providing a boost here on offense.
Cometa directing traffic here. Matthew Oli to Ojula. And Ojula's gonna get called for the travel. And there's some frustration on the part of Eman Ojula here as Kobe Ordonio checks in. Let's take a look at that last play here. What an assist, what a find from Tony Inot. And Eusebio slipping in. And that assist of the game was brought to you by Fiberblaze. Nothing beats local. In your many pick and roll options in NBA 2K, slip is one of them, and that's what Antonio Eusebio showed us in that last replay. Top of the key is good for Rudy Onde, a veteran who's just checked in.
Again, the Monarchs, they'll get offense anywhere they can right now because they've been struggling big time in executing.
Over a minute left to play here in the first half. Antonio Eusebio, Ojula. Cometa was trying to Sorry, Ancheta was trying to wrestle for it against the bigger defender. That's a lot of heart.
And he got it too. He got the pass off to Eusebio, got fouled.
So under a minute left to play here in the first half. And it's John Cantimbuhan who gets the call.
And he also gets a technical foul, which counts as a personal. So that's his fourth.
That's not good if you're the Dasmariñas Monarchs. And Coach Asli Guro is beside himself right now. John Cantimbuhan doesn't even have any words.
With 4 fouls in the first half, he won't have any words for that.
First free throw is good for Matthew Oli. 6'2", 23 years old. And now it's Antonio Eusebio taking these free throws for CSB.
And not only is that big because of the foul trouble for Turoy Cantimbuhan, but they were starting to build a little momentum. They were on a quick 4-0 run, but now they allow potentially 3 points to come back, and all that hard work goes for naught.
Antonio Eusebio, a Filipino-Canadian who grew up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And one of the only ways you'll be able to memorize all of those names together is if you're a fan of Bret the Hitman Hart or many a professional wrestler who hails from Calgary. It's the only reason we know our Canadian geography.
Only reason I know where Winnipeg is.
Jamel calling for the screens here. Trying to take it all the way himself, gets pickpocketed. Kobe Ordonio, nice behind the back pass, and Eusebio for the slam! Antonio Eusebio, where did that come from? And now here's Serrano taking it up himself. Gets called for the foul. And Antonio Eusebio bringing the heat. Let's take a look at that last play here. Kobe Ordonio, that pass to Antonio Eusebio, and that dunk of the game was brought to you by Ban Mi Kitchen. Look at all that sauce on that jam.
Antonio Eusebio, what did the rim do to you?
First free throw is good for Edson Serrano. And Serrano is a product of the San Beda Red Cups program. We have to give them a lot of credit because several of their products have actually crossed over to CSB over the last couple of years. So they must be doing something right.
We all know how good of a program the San Beda Junior program is. They produced a lot of talented players.
Including their head coach, Yuri Escueta. But the San Beda Red Lions not part of this tournament. 4-second differential here between shot clock and game clock. $17-point deficit staring Dasmariñas right in the face. Mike Harry taking it down low, throws it up. Gets himself 2 shots at the foul line instead.
Dasmariñas with the right idea there, getting Mike Harry the ball somewhere he can be successful.
Coach Raiko Tonoman wants to use another timeout before we go to halftime. Less than 10 seconds remaining here in the first half. Mike Harry whipping on that first free throw. And if you're the Dasmariñas Monarchs, you need every single one of those opportunities to be cashed in.
so far it's been a struggle offensively for the Monarchs. Their defense has fallen prey to what can be said as a lack of energy from the home team.
Edson Serrano rejected by Mike Harry. Time running out here. Frankie Johnson needs to make a move. Takes the three as time runs out. And makes it! That one's good. Frankie Johnson beating the buzzer and decreasing the deficit to 14 as we get to halftime. It's the Benilde Blazers 46, the Dasmariñas Monarchs 32. No question about it. That buzzer beater was legit, Coach Mark.
Frankie Johnson had his eye on the clock the whole time he was running down the floor with the basketball. Great body control by Frankie Johnson there. Great focus as well.
He knew it counted. We knew it counted. These fans knew it counted. The Dasmariñas Arena treated to quite a few energizing moments in this game. A couple of slams from the Benilde Blazers side. That three-pointer by Frankie Johnson to end this first half. Just one of the many highlights that we had in this first half of action.
And this first half was really controlled by the Benilde Blazers, starting with their defense, slowing down Frankie Johnson and Lauren Brill. As you see Lauren Brill hitting that jumper. One jumper too few for Lauren Brill and Frankie Johnson. And here we see that's Justin Sanchez, his first 2 points of the game. And Gab Cometa, just a few minutes on the floor, but he was productive, not only scoring but playmaking as well. And we saw Hamad Alumino scored 4 straight points in that short run. That's answered by Antonio Eusebio. Antonio Eusebio, we'll see here off the great pass by Kobe Ortonio, giving the rim a hurt business. Mr. Eusebio finishing strong.
And as we end the first half, once again the score, the Benilde Blazers at 46, the Dasmariñas Monarchs at 32.
everyone. You are still watching the 2023 CORSA Tires Asiabasket Dasmariñas. And now beside me is Coach, Coach Charles too of CSB Blazers. So thank you for being here. Good to be here as well. But I have to ask, a lot of people are actually saying that this lineup that we have in Asiabasket might be stronger than the lineup that we have now in the NCAA. So what can you say about this?
I wouldn't say that just yet. There's a lot of talent in this team for sure. We are talented, but until they prove something and do something together as a team, I think they have a long way to go. But of course, we're excited for a lot of these guys to be joining our program and for them to possibly make our NCAA team next season. So yes, they are a pretty good team, and I think Coach Raiko's done a good job with them.
Speaking of Coach Raiko, can you share to us what are the things that you learned from him?
You know, he's always been a father figure to me, guiding me. You know, I'm always impressed with the way he instills discipline, the way he gets players to execute things, and very structured with what he wants. Of course, a lot of different tactics and new ideas that he brings from the European side. So yeah, I'm learning from him every day, and I'm glad to have him help us in the short time that he'll be with us here.
Any message to all of the fans who are tuning in?
Well, we hope you can support our CSB team here in the Asiabasket as we hope to improve on our previous finish. You know, we've made it to the semis, we made it to the finals, and hopefully now we can win a championship, and also to support our NCAA team in our season. So thank you so much to everybody who's been supporting us, and thank you to Jai Reyes and the Asiabasket for letting us join again this year.
All right, good luck to you, Coach.
Conversation with Coach Charles Tew, the head coach of the Benilde Blazers. Of course, he's really been consumed by the NCAA season that's currently ongoing, which is also one of the reasons why Coach Raiko Toroman is helming the sidelines here for the Benilde Blazers.
No, it's such a big help to have, of course, coach like Coach Raiko Toroman helping you out on the sidelines, mentoring you and making sure that the program is running well. You see the halftime highlights here. In the half dominated by the CSB Blazers. They've actually out-rebounded this bigger front line of the Dasmariñas Monarchs, 27-15. And the points in the paint has been crucial. We'll see here in the stats. Points in the paint, 30-10 for the CSB Blazers. Majority of that lead just because of those points in the paint and the second chance points. Again, despite the advantage of the Monarchs having Laminu and Mike Harry, second chance points dominated by the CSB Blazers.
14-point lead staring the Dasmariñas Monarchs right in the face as we head to the second half. Let's see how they bounce back from here, because if the first half was any indication, then it seems like they've got another uphill climb here in the third and fourth quarter.
Again, the Blazers moving that ball so well, entering to Ojula, and Ojula cutting Tony Inut.
Inut with another basket there. That brings his total to 13 to lead all scorers.
Inut looks like he could have hurt something on the way down from that layup. He's limping quite a bit.
Inut communicating with the bench right now as Dasmariñas tries to get something going. Frankie Johnson really forcing his way into the paint there.
It's something that he has to do. He has settled for a lot of jump shots. And he actually made two. One early in the first quarter, and one with that half-court heave at the end of the second quarter. So it's time for Frankie Johnson to really take over this game.
Matthew Ollie getting called for that foul there for CSB. Ancheta saving it for CSB to Eusebio inside. Blocked by Mike Harry.
Is that Mike Harry's third chase down block already?
Here's Frankie Johnson on offense. Uses the opening, throws it up and in, and that's good.
Now, scorers like Frankie Johnson, you can't really stop him the whole game. You can slow him down, but this guy has a nose for scoring. He will find the basket one way or another.
And with this free throw, Frankie Johnson could match his total with his jersey number, 15.
It was a slow start for him, but the free throws really helped get him some rhythm, and now he's showing off.
Frankie Johnson and AJ Vitug in the backcourt. RJ Escobar, Hamado Lamino, and Mike Harry in the front court for Dasmariñas. Meanwhile, Ojula and Eusebio, what an effective two-man game in the, down low for CSB. They've got Matthew Oli in the front court with him, Tony Inot, and I believe that's Ancheta in the backcourt for them.
Again, another great find by Ojula to a cutting Antonio Eusebio for the easy two.
9 on the shot clock remaining here. Mike Harry just forcing that one up. No fouls there.
Mike Harry would have been better served finding Frankie Johnson. He's getting his rhythm. Whenever you have your scorer finding his rhythm, the ball has to find him as well.
Good ball movement here from CSB. Ordonio from the outside. Rebound Mike Harry. Only the 4th rebound here for Mike Harry. As Frankie Johnson floats in. No good. Eusebio snags it. Here's Kobe. Gets stripped. It's going to go off his leg. So it's Dasmariñas ball.
That's a great look by Ancheta. The forward pass to Ordonio, but quick hands by Vito.
Under 8 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. 15 points. That's what Dasmariñas has to overcome. That's a 3 from Escobar. Way off. Mike Harry, another opportunity for them. Mike Harry in the post. Into the hands of Kobe Ordonio.
Mike Harry just unlucky there. It's a wide open gimme that he missed.
Second personal, team foul number 1 for Dasma Monarchs.
Ancheta at the controls here for CSB. You've got 3 guards here in this lineup for CSB as Eusebio takes that 3. Good motion, just unable to convert.
If there's anything lacking with CSB's offense, it's their three-point shooting. They're only 2 of 15 for the game.
Frankie Johnson, corner 3, in and out like a burger.
Frankie Johnson, again, the rhythm hasn't been there. He's been on and off.
Here's Inot from distance. Passes off the back of the rim. Ancheta getting the offensive rebound and then getting Vitug to foul him.
It's been extended minutes for AJ Vitug because the primary point guard, Buray Cantimbuan, had 4 fouls in the first half. So it's going to, Vitug will have more minutes to play with here in the second half.
Coach Raico Torman downsizing here, putting Justin Sanchez in for Antonio Eusebio. And Sanchez, a spark plug off the bench here.
Justin Sanchez, we all know what he can do with it. It's put the ball in the basket. That's only his 4th point, but so far, it's been aggressive.
Escobar from outside once again. Hamado Lamino offensive rebound, but Ancheta getting pesky. Frankie Johnson trying to break free. That shot is soaring, flying out of bounds.
Way out.
Fast break. Unable to finish, Justin Sanchez. Here's Frankie Johnson, wide open for 3. Got the lucky bounce.
If you're a struggling scorer like Frankie Johnson, anytime that ball goes in the hoop, you'll take it.
Maybe that could get him going. That could be the spark that he needed. That whistle's gonna go against CSB. Third foul there for Jomel Ancheta, who's been very active on both ends of the floor.
But the depth of this Benilde guard rotation, remember, they still have Ian Torres and Gab Cometa coming off the bench.
Frankie Johnson with a sidestep jumper. Johnson could very well be heating up here.
Frankie Johnson now, 21 points, leading all scorers.
2 threes in a row for Frankie Johnson. Meanwhile, Kobe Ordonio with the floater. Bank not open for him. And that call's gonna go Dasmariñas' way. Eman Ojula just trying to have words with the official.
Ojula pleading his case to the referees that he was being pulled by Hamadu Laminu, but he got caught pushing off with his right arm.
I mean, Ojula tried, and in the words of Attorney Jose Sison, kapag may katwiran, ipaglaban mo. But apparently, in the eyes of the refs, walang katwiran yung ina-argue ni Eman Ojula.
Mahirap magpaliwanag sa mga refs natin today. We've already seen a lot of technical fouls.
Escobal from the corner, way off. Blazers are running. Sanchez has an open lane. Mike Harry bothering him. CSP getting the ball back. Kobe's got Mike Harry in front of him. Sanchez in the paint. Nice dunk to Ojula inside.
Oh, Mike Harry already knew Justin Sanchez was going to do that sidestep. He's seen it way too many times. But Sanchez adjusting well, dropping it off to Ojula.
The passing and the ball movement really playing well to CSP's strengths as Hamadu Laminu draws contact.
Again, Ojula in disbelief with that foul. He's asking why he was called.
Here's a question though, Coach Mark. Have you ever met a player who would willingly admit it was their foul?
Nope. That's I have yet meet a player that admits to a foul that he committed.
Eman Ojula taking a seat. Edson Serrano, who had a very active first half. Very productive one at that, entering the game. Angelo Vanguardia also in, taking the place of Tony Inot.
Oh, that's big because that's the third personal foul of Eman Ojula. So probably the next time we'll see this guy will be in the fourth quarter. And this is a great spot for the Monarchs to really make a run and cut down this lead.
2 for 2 for Laminu. He's got 7. Mike Harry only with 2. So for the two imports, dito sa Dasmariñas Monarchs, combined, they've only got 9 points.
Good thing Frankie Johnson has 21. Where would they be without Frankie Johnson scoring?
Ordonio, very shifty move inside, but he's been unable to finish. Still scoreless.
He's been trying, he's been aggressive, but it just hasn't really resulted in anything good.
Lauren Brill back in the game here for Coach Asli Guro. Here's Hamadu Laminu. He wants to abuse the smaller Edson Serrano. Can't get it to go. Ball stays with Dasmariñas.
That puts the Blazers over the limit. So everything here from the 4-minute mark will be free throws for the Monarchs.
And let's take a look at that Frankie Johnson 3, and that three-point shot of the game was brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets. Frankie Johnson, for a while, we thought he was heating up, but his shooting stroke went back down to earth.
Free throws are very important if the Monarchs really want to make a go at this. They're stopping the clock and make this free throws. It's all down to just 10 points now.
You have to wonder what Kobe Ordonio and Coach Raiko have been talking about there. If Coach Raiko's trying to calm Kobe Ordonio down, trying to make sure that he doesn't settle for all those tough and difficult shots he's been putting up.
Kobe Ordonio is trying to live up to his namesake.
Probably got that Mamba mentality in him, just needs that Mamba scoring ability. That ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to go Dasmariñas' way.
You can feel it now. The Monarchs trying to build on this mini run, getting some stops, and probably try to get back to the line, stop the clock, get some free throws.
And as it is, it's a big deal that the Dasmariñas Monarchs have made it to within 10, within single digits.
And right there, drawing a foul from the over-aggressive Kobe Ordonio.
Kobe Ordonio, with his look on him and the facial hair, kind of reminds me of Jose Alvarado of the New Orleans Pelicans, and his movement on the defensive end was maybe a Grand Theft Alvarado impression as well.
We have yet to see an impression of that, because AJ Vito just drew his third foul on Kobe Ordonio.
Vito goes 2 for 2 at the line. He's got 7 in about 20 minutes of action here. 7 points. This is as close as Dasmariñas has gotten in quite a while in this game. Steal here, Vito. He's got an opening, throws it up. Laminu was wide open there.
No, Vito out of control there, committing an offensive foul. As he said, Lamino was wide open training the play.
Coach Raiko has seen enough. He's calling for time. And the Dasmariñas Monarchs, after these free throws, could bring this one to 5. Your fans of the game are brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets. And we thought that the Benilde Blazers would continue to dominate, but this third quarter has been all Dasmariñas. They've outscored CSB 15-8.
Benilde has lost some composure here. Thanks to the zone by the Monarchs really disrupting their offensive flow.
Ian Torres has checked in here for Coach Raiko. Good defense from Dasmariñas. Picked up by Brill. Lauren Brill on the break. Throws it up. No good. Brill going to the line for a pair of charities.
Multiple turnovers this quarter for the Benilde Blazers has enabled the Monarchs to really get out of the break and finish and draw all these fouls, leading to these free throws.
And this has to feel good if you're Lauren Brill at the charity stripe, because charity starts at home and they're the home team, and this is a Dasmariñas crowd that is being energized with each successful defensive stop, each successful basket that they've converted. And the Dasmariñas Monarchs don't look now, but they're putting on quite a bit of a run here.
Oh, this was once a 15-point lead, cut down now to 6, maybe 5.
3 minutes remaining here. And this Dasmariñas arena has come alive. J.R. Ilustrissimos checked in for Dasmariñas. And it looked like he crowded Ian Torres a little bit back there.
A hard closeout by Ilustrissimo, fouling Ian Torres there.
He invaded Torres' personal space, that's for sure. Justin Sanchez. To Tony Inot. Back to Sanchez. Wide open for 3. Can't stop the bleeding. Frankie Johnson now. Takes the shot himself. Not the best opportunity that he could have gotten.
Johnson looking for the
Tony
home run.
Inot wide open for 3. Rebound Serrano to Torres. Mike Harry with a rebound for Dasmariñas.
The Blazers trying to look for an early home run here. Shots they don't need to take, they're taking, leading to this Dasmariñas offensive thrust.
They go back to Frankie Johnson. Time winding down on the shot clock. Under 5 seconds. Frankie Johnson at the top of the key. He's running out of time. He just throws it up. And it looks like Frankie Johnson lost track of the shot clock.
It's getting a bit noisy here. Frankie Johnson not knowing the situation, understanding what time was left, blowing what could potentially have been a big shot in this run for the Monarchs.
What a missed opportunity for Dasmariñas right there as Gab Coneta checks back in. And now you've got the city of Dasmariñas trying to distract CSB with all the noise. Dasmariñas trying to trap with a double. It's going to be Dasmariñas' ball.
Coach Raiko protesting that call, saying there was a clean screen by Edson Serrano. But falling into deaf ears, all that complaining, Edson Serrano, only 2 fouls so he can stay in the game and defend.
1:25 remaining here. And Lauren Brill almost lost control there.
the over-aggressiveness of youth playing into this run of the Dasmariñas Monarchs, built mainly on free throws.
Lauren Brill headed back to the line here for another pair of free throws as you see him mixing it up with Gab Cometa on the floor.
Now, this zone by the Monarchs has really stymied the offense of the Benilde Blazers, forcing Benilde into what hasn't been a strength, the three-point shot. They've only made 2 the whole game.
The free throw differential has been quite a story here, Coach Mark. Over 20 free throws taken by Dasmariñas compared to just 11 by CSB.
And the bulk of that, mostly here in the third quarter.
They've taken 11 free throws in the quarter, which is as much as they've taken all of the first half.
Don't look now, Stan. It's only a 3-point game, and this place is getting noisy.
3-point game here for the Dasmariñas Monarchs. Single possession game. Justin Sanchez hoping to extend it. Frankie Johnson with the rebound. And Johnson almost failed to cross the half-court line. Mike Harry tried to throw it down. Tony Inot's running for CSB. And Eusebio with the finish.
That's one way to break a run. Anton Eusebio running down as the primary big and flushing it.
Punching it down and telling this arena to pull a Daniel Padilla and to shut up na lang. Here's Mike Harry in the paint. Forces that one up. And Ilosissimo was trying to save it there. But it's gonna go back to the Benilde Blazers.
The Blazers play this smart. They can still have the lead back in the fourth.
Let's take a look at that dunk once again from Anton Eusebio. Smoothly going into the lane and then finishing with a right hand. So it's Cometa, Oli, Serrano, Eusebio, and Inot on the floor for the Blazers. Shot clock's been turned off. Cometa. Here's Matthew Oli back to Cometa. They've been passing it around. Three-pointer short. Lauren Brill threw it up at the half-court line. No good. And at the end of the third quarter, the Dasmariñas Monarchs have outscored the Benilde Blazers 19-10 en route to a 56-51 score. This is probably not on the bingo card of the Benilde Blazers coming out of the half.
Oh, they struggled with that zone defense. They weren't able to execute offensively. We'll see the highlights here in the third quarter. Mike Harry was a beast on the defensive end, getting multiple chase down blocks. On the other end, Benilde started with a lot of patience, but that foul game towards the halfway of the third quarter really played big for the Dasmariñas Monarchs. They got multiple free throws. As he said, 11 attempts in the third quarter, and that's what really fueled this run in the third quarter for the Monarchs.
Once again, we take a look at that Anton Eusebio jam, probably the last highlight of the third quarter, which ends 56-51 in favor of the Benilde Blazers. Fourth quarter now underway. Dasmariñas Monarchs with a chance to draw first blood in the quarter after what has been a turnaround performance in the third. Lauren Brill got hounded there by Sanchez and Inot.
It's great defense to start the quarter by the Benilde Blazers, getting that or forcing that turnover from Lauren Brill. And now it's important they can execute against the zone. They've been moving the ball just along the perimeter. We didn't see them really attack the paint.
Ojula to Oli inside. Missed that easy shot. Here's Brill at the point. Trying to lose his man here. Lauren Brill in and out. Gets the offensive rebound though.
Great footwork from Lauren Brill. Mike Harry, like a runaway freight train, finishing over Eman Ojula.
Only the second basket of the game for Mike Harry. He's got 4. Once again, we're down to a single possession game. Gab Cometa just threw that shot wildly. So that foul's going to go against JR Ilustrisimo. Let's take a look at that last Mike Harry bucket. That move of the game was brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets. Eman Ojula with the basket off the glass.
And that's big for the Benilde Blazers. When Ojula went down with his 3rd foul, that's when that run by the Monarchs really happened. So he's coming back in, trying to stabilize his 5 inside.
10 points for Eman Ojula as Ilustrisimo's jumper is no good, hits the back of the iron there.
Yeah, we haven't really seen the touches for Frankie Johnson in this quarter.
3-pointer no good for CSP, but they get a second opportunity. Nice dump inside to Ojula, who just gets shoved from behind.
That's partly frustration from Frankie Johnson because he hasn't really touched the basketball, you know, just when he was getting his rhythm.
And I'm not sure if there's anything to review there, Coach Mark, because the replay looks pretty clear.
That was a straight shove by Frankie Johnson on Eman Ojula. Not really a duty foul in any sense.
Frustration foul there from Frankie Johnson. What are the implications of this review, Coach Mark?
Oh, if the call gets upgraded to unsportsmanlike foul, obviously Benilde will get 2 free throws and possession.
So that could be as much as a 5-point swing for CSP, which is currently up by 5.
That is his 3rd personal foul.
So it's been ruled an unsportsmanlike foul for Frankie Johnson. So as you said, Coach, 2 shots and possession.
One of the rare times Benilde has been to the free throw line in this game. Ojula has to capitalize.
Ojula going 1 for 2 at the stripe there. Let's take a look at that last foul on Frankie Johnson, which again was deemed unsportsmanlike because of the shove. Almost a steal. Puroy Kantibuhan back in the game here. 3-pointer from Cometa. Mike Harry securing the rebound. Almost stolen by Vanguardia.
Frankie Johnson finally getting a touch here.
Johnson slashing his way to the paint, throws it up, earns himself 2 free throws.
That was a very patient possession for Frankie Johnson, just really probing around the perimeter, waiting for a gap to appear, taking that very explosive finisher.
It's a very ball-dominant performance so far from Frankie Johnson, and I know that that's something to be expected given his player profile, but if you're managing this team and trying to keep everyone happy, trying to get everyone involved, is this something you'd like?
Well, it is a short tournament stand, and you have a guy like Frankie Johnson with this PBA pedigree. Just give him the ball and get out of this way.
Or let him cook, as Gen Z would say. I don't know about you, but Frankie's got 22 as we turn it over to Sabrina San Diego. Sab, what do you want to talk about?
Stan and Coach Mark, earlier nakausap ko nga at nakamusta ko si Justin Sanchez at sabi naman niya sa akin na nakuha ko na nga ang ang gusto ko last time, and he's referring to his performance that he had with CORSA tires. Now that he's wearing a different jersey, aside from doing his best, sabi rin naman niya sa akin, ang malaki ang tiwala ko sa team. Lalong-lalo na iba rin ang pinapakita ang tiwala ni Coach Raiko.
Thank you very much, Sab. And Justin Sanchez playing a very different role in this Benilde Blazers squad as Frankie Johnson launches a three and gets his own miss. But Frankie Johnson stepped out of bounds, so that's going to go back to the Benilde Blazers.
Well, let me talk to you, Stan. Frankie Johnson really needs to get going in this quarter. He can't settle for outside shots. He really gets strong to the basket. There's no apparent shot blocker for the guys in white here. So it's something that he needs to do right now, early in the fourth.
Frankie Johnson shooting 6 for 18, only 33% on the floor. As Laminu clearly bothered that shot, didn't get a hand on it, but he was able to get the ball for their side because of that effort.
Just tapping it off Vanguardia's head as he went out of bounds, forcing that turnover.
4-point game here. And the Dasmariñas Monarchs, they've got to be patient as they look for that next shot. Laminu getting crowded inside, and he missed the layup.
Can't miss gimmies like that for Hamadu Laminu.
Mike Harry tried to get in the way of that Matthew Ollie bucket. Sorry, that was Laminu who got in his airspace.
Ollie showing no fear of Hamadu Laminu in the shot blocking, taking it straight to him.
Zero fear for number 0, or in Spanish, cero miedo.
Ollie has been solid. Ollie has been solid this whole game. Trying to slow down at least Frankie Johnson. He has limited him to a poor field goal percentage despite the 21 points or the 23 points.
Matthew Ollie, a serviceable shooter from the foul line. He averaged 82.5% at the free throw line for San Joaquin Delta College last season. So he brings that to this Benilde Blazer squad. Puroy Cantimbuan, step back three. Hits the right side of the rim.
That's a double foul, I think, on Hamadu Laminu, and Matthew Ollie got tangled up in that box-out situation.
Foul on Matthew Ollie, that's his fourth personal foul, second lead foul for the Benilde Blazers. Foul number 26, Hamadu Laminu, that's his third personal. Warning for the Dasmariñas Monarchs.
Right there, Laminu and Ollie tangling arms. Getting called for the double foul. Now that's the fourth foul on Matthew Ollie. He's been playing well as two.
15 on the shot clock here for CSB. Ancheta was open momentarily, took the shot, couldn't make it. Johnson on the break. Avoids that pick from Mike Harry. Johnson on the baseline, throws it up, rebound Serrano. Fast break here, Justin Sanchez. Nice pass inside to Vanguardia. And the lead is ballooned to 8 for the Benilde Blazers. What has happened to that turnaround arc that Coach Asli Guro wanted? They're talking it through right now. 5:58 remaining here in the fourth quarter, and it's been a low-scoring fourth quarter so far. CSB's only scored 7, and Dasmariñas has been held to 4.
That favors the defense of CSB, really slowing the pace down. See the shot by Lauren Brill, a rare field goal for the Monarchs in this run.
10 points now for Lauren Brill, cutting the deficit to 6. Justin Sanchez couldn't penetrate. Matthew Oli from the corner. Rebound, J-Boy Gob.
The Blazers are now 2 of 27 from the three-point land stand. Not really doing them any help.
Frigid shooting from long distance for CSB here, but they're able to pick it up. Justin Sanchez on the break yet again. Thrown out by Mike Harry.
Mike Harry eradicating that shot by Justin Sanchez.
Let's take a look at that last replay. The Benilde Blazers picking up the steal, getting on the break. Justin Sanchez thought he had the opening, and then Mike Harry just said, "Not in my house."
Oh, Mike Harry. Not today, not tonight, not an opening night.
In the words of Nelly, "You can catch me on the move, but not in my house." As Mike Harry denies that shot. 5 minutes remaining here in regulation. Matthew Oli from outside finally drills a 3.
Only the third three-point field goal for the Blazers. They are now 3 of 28 for the game.
8 points for Oli, 9-point lead for CSB. Five seconds on the shot clock. What's Johnson doing here? Mike Harry got hit on his way rolling to the rim. That's another CSB foul.
It feels like Frankie Johnson's taking too long to really set up their offense. And by the time he releases the ball, there's around 5 seconds left in their shot clock.
14 on the shot clock for Dasmariñas. It seems like that foul on Mike Harry gave them a bit of a bailout. Frankie Johnson throws it up. No lucky bounce. And another body hit the floor. That was Puroy Cantimbuan.
Bodies have been hitting the floor the whole game through. And Puroy Cantimbuan finally getting some playing time here in the second half.
So both teams now have 4 team fouls each. The next foul for either side will send them to the penalty. And that means we're getting free throws. AJ Vitug inside. Passing out to Johnson for 3. Bounces off the rim and out. And look how quickly Matthew Oli made it back to the other side of the court. 3-pointer, no good. And this arena was about to erupt. Another steal. Jomel Ancheta drawing the foul.
Oh, it's been the defense. The defense of the Blazers have held their ground. It's been crucial for them, forcing steals and getting out in the fast break, getting some layups.
And that foul is going to affect Dasmariñas in so many ways. For one, they're now in the penalty. But next, you've also got AJ Vitug fouling out.
AJ Vitug has played a good game backing up Puroy Cantimbuan on the point guard spot. Brought a lot of stability to the spot despite the foul trouble to Cantimbuan.
Couple of subs here for both sides. Hamadu Laminu checking back in for J-Boy Gob. Ilusistrimos in for AJ Vitug, and we've got Emma Najula checking back in for Edson Serrano. And it looks like we're right back where we started. The Dasmariñas Monarchs looking up at the lights, down by double digits here. Puroy Cantimbuan inside, trying to change their fate.
Nightmare game for Puroy Cantimbuan. Not the way you want to start your Asiabasket stint here in Dasmariñas.
Ojula finding it crowded inside. And Lamino arguing that there was no foul there.
And that's the fourth on Amadou Lamino. It's going to be big. They still have time. It's 3 minutes, 25 seconds. They're only down 9 points. Not really the end of the world for the Dasmariñas Monarchs.
They've already had AJ Vitug foul out, and then both Lamino and Cantimbuhan have 4 fouls each. So just to watch out there for the foul trouble if you're paying attention to the Dasmariñas Monarchs. Free throw no good for Ojula. 10 points separating both teams.
And this is a weird time to not have your 2 scorers on the floor. Lauren Brill is on the bench on this possession.
Cantimbuhan telling you, Coach Mark, that he's still here, reminding you of his presence with that bucket.
There's still time to salvage this game if the Monarchs just need more stops and convert on the other end.
Antonio Sebio unable to convert, getting the offensive rebound. Here's Enot for 3. And the frigid shooting from CSP in the long range continues.
And Ojula again not agreeing with the call.
And that's his 5th. He's done.
That's big because we still have a little less than 3 minutes here in the game. 2 free throws for the Monarchs, and they're only down 8 points. Seeing the replay, really what happened there. Him and Lamino just, Lamino with an Oscar-worthy flop right there.
And Lamino may have sold it a little bit, but you do what you have to do to try and get yourself some points, right?
But as the great Rashid Wallace would say, ball don't lie.
Both free throws no good for Lamino, and somewhere Rashid Wallace must be flashing a Cheshire Cat grin. Ancheta tries again for 3. Offensive rebound, Matthew Oli. Enot sidestep, 3-pointer, yes!
Why not? Tony Enot, only the 4th make for the Blazers, coming at crucial time.
And the CSB defense really crowding it in the paint. They're up by 11, 2 minutes 14 remaining here in regulation as Enot gets called for his 2nd personal. Another pair of free throws here for Dasmariñas.
Coach Raiko, understandably very angry because that ball just went from A to B in a straight line. Nobody really stopped it for Benilde.
Roy Cantimbuhan has emerged as the scorer for Dasmariñas here in the 4th.
He's trying to make up for lost time. He sat out most of the first 3 quarters because of this foul trouble.
Cantimbuhan goes 2 for 2 at the charity stripe, cutting this lead down to 9. We're inside the 2-minute mark as Matthew Oli misses on the 3. Lamino picks it up. Johnson running on the fast break. Wild shot. Mike Harry with a putback.
The Blazers can't rely on just eating up the clock here. You have to stay aggressive. Game's not done. It's only 7-point lead.
1 minute 35 remaining here in regulation. Will Benilde keep going back to the 3, which has not really proven fruitful for them? Tony Enot threw it up from the paint. Mike Harry with a rebound. Last touch, Mike Harry. So, ball's gonna stay with the Benilde Blazers.
No, unfortunate turnover there for the Dasmariñas Monarchs. Mike Harry had the rebound, but Lamino fell over. Harry tripped over Amadou Lamino, causing that turnover.
.14 on the shot clock here for CSB. It looks like they don't need much time. Tony Enot, corner 3, no good. Matthew Oli tried to save it, threw it off of JR Ilosistrimo. So the ball will stay with CSB.
A great hustle there by Matthew Oli, keeping the ball alive, getting them another chance to put Dasmariñas away.
8 seconds to shoot here. Free throw jumper, no good for Ancheta. We've got a whistle for an unsportsmanlike foul.
Looks like that's going to be on Hamadu Lamino.
If that's on Lamino, he's done.
Not only is he done, that's 2 free throws and possession for the Blazers.
And now our officials are reviewing it.
Oh, the referees are conferring just to make sure the call is right. Hopefully we can see the replay on the last call on Hamadu Lamino if it was an unsportsmanlike foul.
Let's take a look at that replay and see how Hamadu Lamino got assessed that unsportsmanlike foul. It looks like he made contact there with Edson Serrano.
Looks like a chop to the throat here on the blockout. Right there, a stiff arm to the throat from Hamadu Lamino to Edson Serrano. Caught by the referees.
After reviewing the call, unsportsmanlike foul number 26, Hamadu Lamino. White house showdown.
And Hamadu Lamino leaves the game with that 5th foul with 9 points and 8 rebounds. And the Benilde Blazers' woes continue here. Sorry, the Dasmariñas Monarchs' woes continue here against the Benilde Blazers. Coach Azli Guro uses one more timeout here.
Two free throws for Edson Serrano.
Edson Serrano at the line here with 2 free throws. And CSB maintains possession regardless of how well Edson Serrano does here at the foul line.
And that's big, not only because of the free throws, but CSB has the chance to really melt the clock out with just over a minute left in our game.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
14 seconds on the shot clock here for CSB. Edson Serrano failing to cash in on those free throws. Could have been as much as a 5-point swing here for CSB. Tony Enot getting that screen. And this is huge. This turnover from the Benilde Blazers could open the door for another Dasmariñas comeback.
Well, they need to score here in this possession, really to still make a game out of this.
Frankie Johnson inside the paint. Nice pass inside. Denied there by Justin Sanchez. And with 40 seconds to go, this could be it. The Benilde Blazers could be less than a minute away from putting Dasmariñas to bed for good. Justin Sanchez from outside. Rebound Ancheta. 10-second separating shot clock and game clock. That Tony Inot 3 is gonna do it.
The dagger by Tony Inot, hitting those three-point shots when it mattered the most.
And the Dasmariñas Monarchs are going to end this game with a loss in their hometown. Frankie Johnson with that three, just taking back those 3 points that Tony Inot got moments ago. And at the end of it, the Benilde Blazers walk away with a W, 75-68. What did the Benilde Blazers do well here, Coach Mark?
Oh, they were able to get stops when they weren't able to execute on offense. They got stops on the other end, got out in transition, hit some key layups, and as we saw towards the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, Tony Inot hit those big threes to really put Dasmariñas away.
And the Dasmariñas Monarchs, you have to give it to them. They tried to mount a comeback. They had that impressive showing in the third quarter, limited CSB to 10 points, kept going to the free throw line, had 19 points themselves in the third quarter, but they just completely unraveled in the fourth.
And that's the lack of offensive firepower for the Monarchs. Frankie Johnson did have 26, but he had to work very hard for those 26 points. Lauren Brill, who had 10, disappeared towards the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. We saw him on the bench, and he wasn't really able to contribute towards the end of that fourth, where they still had the chance to come back. But maybe the lack of familiarity in this lineup amongst the Monarchs really did them in compared to the chemistry built by this Benilde Blazers squad.
And this Benilde Blazer squad really trying to make the most out of the new pieces that they want to integrate heading into season 100. One of them is our best player of the game, and he's standing by with Sabrina Sandiego.
First day and he is unstoppable. Why not? Ngayon nga, kasama ko ngayon si Tony Inot, and congratulations for being the best player of the game. Kanina nga sa third quarter, medyo crucial ang nangyari. Any specific instructions that was given to you that helped, of course, you and the team to bound this first win dito nga sa ating opening day?
Yun nga, yung pagpasok sa third quarter, sabi lang ni Coach Raiko na sundin lang yung play namin kasi yun talaga tutulong sa amin. And yun nga, kasi pinaghandaan din namin to. Kasi wala kaming excuses dito eh. Kahit nagbakasyon yung iba kami, nagtitraining pa rin para dito na league na to.
Kanina, the crowd was going wild. Paano naman to? Or paano yung make sure na hindi kayo papa-apekto dito?
Compose lang kami sa game. Ganun naman talaga sa home court. Yan, ginawa lang namin yung best namin. Nagtutulungan kami sa loob ng court. Yun.
Since ikaw nga ang player of the game, why don't you greet, of course, lahat nga ng mga sumusuporta sa'yo o kaya naman ang fans din naman ng CSB na kanina pa nga rin naman tumututok sa game ninyo?
Una-una, nagpapasalamat ako sa CSB community, sa family ko sa Cebu at saka sa Mindanao, mga Morales family, Maglangit family, Inot family, and sa Iloilo family, Iloilo team, Davao team, sila Coach Manu, Coach Noli, Andy, and sila Coach BL, and kay Boss Frank, Boss Jarvis, and kay Ate Jelay, and sa lahat ng sumuporta sa amin, salamat.
Our best player of the game, now back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Sab. Tony Inot, our best player of the game. That award is brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets, 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists for Tony Inot as the Benilde Blazers clinch the win in the main event of our quadruple header against the hometown team, the Dasmariñas Monarchs. What an opening for Asiabasket here in Dasmariñas, Coach Mark.
Oh, it's a memorable opening day, and if the action today was any indication of what we'll get, it's going to be a wonderful week of basketball here in Dasmariñas City.
We've got another quadruple header kicking things off at 1 p.m. right here in the Dasmariñas Arena. And if you want to catch more of the action, please follow PhilBasket or Asiabasket on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And you can also catch the action live on Tap Sports and on Solar Sports. On behalf of Coach Mark Dandan and Sabrina Sandiego, my name is Stan C. Thank you very much for making PhilBasket a part of your Friday night. And on behalf of the crew, goodbye and good night. Bang!